Hey there folks, back at you with another video. This is Country Mile Garage for Teck Stock and Shop. Please like and subscribe, it helps the channel out a lot and don't cost nothing. And this month's subject is Harbor Freight, to buy and what not to buy. I do have a couple things on of Harbor Freight, and some of it is good and some of it is just absolute junk. So let's get into this. I'll take you a little tour through the shop here. This here is their transmission jack. It's all right. The first one I bought, I had issues with the valve not wanting to close, so it didn't want to keep the transmission jack up. So I had to bring it back within what, a couple days. And now I got this one. It's been, this one here has been actually pretty good. Handy to have. It's one of the cheaper transmission jacks on the market. So, hit and miss, I'd say. Some of their specialty tools, like something like that, absolute fucking garbage. No good. They're good for, 2, 3, maybe 4 times a use, and then they start falling apart and they just turn into junk. I'll give you a quick look at this. So the adapter pieces work pretty good. The pump just starts falling apart, and because it's a manual one, it's just, that is a joke. And then after a while you can't trust it anymore. So, to that regard, I wouldn't, put too much into it. Engine stand. Now that works pretty good. This is the big one. This is their 1 ton. Let me see if I can get you up in there. The 1 ton one. I use that for engine work and transmission work, as you can tell. That's an Allison 1000 transmission that I'm in the middle of rebuilding. So for that, this thing works great. Let me see here. They're Daytona floor jacks. Those are awesome. They are so awesome that I had an older Napa one, and I got rid of it and bought me a second one. So that way I had 2 of the same. And these Daytona, these are the yellow ones. They are absolutely worth it. They're and I had them for a good long while now, and I used them a bunch. And yeah, those were good. That is a good purchase. A couple other things I've got here. Bearing race and seal driver set. That's pretty good. Quick connect compression tester for gas engines. That is halfway decent. It's not too bad. But that's the thing, right? You buy something like this, and then, maybe the gauge goes bad. Well, I would just go to Napa, get me a new gauge, and that will fix it. The connectors are still pretty good, so no problems there. Like I said, that is a good set to have, but no moving parts, so that's pretty simple. I had a couple other things from Napa, like their fuel, like the fuel pressure test kit, and it broke after a while. After about 3 or 4 uses, got rid of it and bought me a good one from Cornwall. That's from Harbor Freight. That works pretty good. Now their tap and die set. This is from Harbor Freight, and that one is from Harbor Freight. I had them for a good long while, and they're actually pretty darn good, believe it or not. But I don't use it every day. So, and on top of that, I always be, just be careful when you use them, that you don't over torque them and break them. Back off, as soon as it starts feeling tight, I back off, and I make sure I use enough oil or lubrication while I'm cutting threads. So to that regard, I have pretty good luck with them. I think I broke only one, and I replaced it. So with a different brand from Napa. Carts like this, great. The cheapest on the market, put easy, they're putting together pretty easy, and I got two of them. I got the big one, and over there, here's the small one. These are awesome. You can definitely buy those from Harbor Freight, especially for the price. It's kind of hard to beat. This is the parts washer I just picked up a couple weeks ago. It's not bad so far, especially for the money. I don't wash parts all that much, but once in a while I do like to use it. And like with this transmission job, I wanted to, that's one of the things I use this for, and it has done halfway decent. It's not bad. I don't expect it to last long. I figure when it goes out, I'll buy me something that is nicer and upgrade. This is my really big, I call this Big Berry. I use this big grinder. I don't use it all the time because it's so huge, but sometimes it's nice to have a big one. Cheap. You don't use it every day, then go for it. I got some of their pliers here, the Doyles. Don't use them a ton, but for like in a rope box or something like that, for in your pickup truck, they work good. I've got this big set here from them. It's Pittsburgh, as you can tell. This thing is in the back of my pickup truck in my toolbox, so that way I always got some tools with me. The wrenches just suck. Sockets are pretty good. The ratchets, I mean, it just sounds cheap because they are cheap. This a 1/4 inch, and it almost looks like a 3/8 head compared to other brands. So these ratchets are not the best by any means, but then again, it spends time in my toolbox, and as you can tell, or in the toolbox of my pickup truck, as you can tell, there's some sockets missing and a couple wrenches missing, some screwdrivers. I can care less. It was really cheap. That works. So I've got their Porter Power. That's from Harbor Freight. Once again, don't use it all the time, but once in a while I do need it, and it's great. And then I got the this piece here. As you can tell how much I use it. I just, sometimes you got to pull something straight or push something, and then this set is a great addition. You have to spend very little money, and it sits on the shelf, and if you do need it, you have it. I got their big 20-ton air power bottle jack. That's actually pretty decent. That's been doing pretty good. So it, as you can tell, the hose starting to have some dry rot, so I may get to the point where I have to replace the hose. But the bottle jack, that's actually been pretty good. So yeah. So with that being all said, my takeaway with Harbor Freight, like on specialty tools, if you're starting out in a business, you want to buy some specialty tools, and for diagnosis, and like for fuel pressure and for your radiator pressure test kit, stuff like that. If you're not sure if you're going to use it a lot, you can buy that stuff really cheap, put it in your toolbox, And you know, if they start falling apart, you know automatically which one you're going to use more, and then upgrade to something better. So for that regard, Harbor Freight has its place. Like this, you know, I don't use it much, but I like to have some tools with me when I'm on the road. This will do the trick for me. You know, it's cheap, don't cost much, and the once in a while you do need it, it's great to have. Like I said, the only thing is ratchets. You know, the ratchets suck. The Doyle pliers are pretty good, zero complaints, but then again, it spends time in the toolbox in my truck. So don't use it all the time, so it's hard to say if it's truly good quality. That grinder's been doing pretty good, but then again, don't use it all the time, and it's nice to have something that is bigger. So if you do need it, you have it. So yeah, that's basically my takeaway on Harbor Freight. They do have some good tools that are worth your money. And they do have a lot of tools that are not. So it has its place, especially when you're starting out, or you just want to have something that's cheap that you know don't use much. You know, it's fine. Other than that, like I said, there's specialty tools from Maddox or whatever. That is just absolute garbage. But you know, if you spent 20 bucks or 30 bucks on a set like that, you know, you use it. And you know, like I said, and then later on you upgrade to something that is professional style, and then you spent like 150 or 200 bucks on something, you know, then Harbor Freight has its place. So it's not, you know, that way you can figure out what you need the most and what you don't. So yeah, so it has its place. Don't expect much of it, then you never have to be disappointed with it. And I do say that the Daytona jacks, those are awesome. The engine stand is awesome. I had my Cummins engine on that, and that's a heavy engine, and it held it up just fine, zero problems. So to that regard, this is a good tool to have. Did I modify it a little bit? Yep. I had a couple grease nipples on there so I could lube it up, because like when that Cummins on there, it was really heavy, and I wanted to, you know, make sure it would spin freely without binding up. So that's where I used that. So this is a good thing to have. I did have their engine hoist or cherry picker, or however you want to call it. It works. You have to, you know, it works. But if you do something serious, you have to upgrade, which I did. This is my upgrade right here. My big bad boy right here. This thing is awesome, and believe it or not, it's 3 times the size of the Harbor Freight one, and it moves around easier than Harbor Freight one, because that is the whole problem with the Harbor Freight engine hoist. The wheels are too small. That thing just don't want to move around. It's a pain in the balls. So this is much better, but you spend a lot more too. But if you spend some time on Facebook Marketplace, you know, you can buy something like this for cheap. I bought this thing for, if my memory, I think it was 350 bucks, something like that. So this is, you know, like for myself, this is a must-have, and I use this a lot, not just for engine work. Lifting beds off of vehicles, or a cab off a vehicle, or something like that. This thing is awesome for that, because you know, it's got extensions, stuff like that, and it's got some serious reach. So yeah, so Harbor Freight is all right. It's got its place, and like I said, if you don't use it every day, it's definitely worth spending the money on. If you do use it every day, it's going to break on you, and then you have to replace it with something that's better. So, all right, guys, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot and don't cost nothing. And check out everybody else's channel that's part of this group. Our group is a bunch of awesome people with lots of knowledge of all walks of life. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.